What's up, guys? Just wanted to talk a little bit today about MIDI Baby from Disaster Area Designs. I'm using it with my HX stomp. I'm using it for tap tempo and tuner, but also I got it for its external out to control my dual switch, to change my presets with this, so I don't have to use this for my expression out, and I can use the expression out for an actual expression pedal. I had a little bit of trouble figuring out exactly how to set this up. There's a couple videos that are pretty helpful, but there were still some settings that weren't really making sense, or that weren't talked about in some of the other videos, so I figured I'd try and cover all of that if anybody else is having any trouble trying to do the same setup. So we'll start off first. We'll go over here to the software editor. Just going to kind of scroll through so you can see what everything's set at. All this, the input channel 1. We'll go open all these up. Okay. So for press, which is what's controlling my tap tempo, you got your controller values. Your controller value, send single value 127, 64. And then for the tuner, it's 68, also 127. CC toggle on both of these. Down here, this is controlling the external foot switch. This one's going to be the tip, this one's going to be the ring. You're going to do controller 52 and controller 53, and that's going to control FS 4 and 5, which I'm using to change my presets. So I thought that was really awesome that this can do that. So that's pretty much everything on the software side. On this, what you'll need to do is go into your global settings. I'm already in MIDI. Bass channel 1 to match up with the software. MIDI through is off. RX MIDI clock. This is basically telling the stomp to receive MIDI clock from an external controller. This is if it needs to send clock, so you don't really need that. If you had, say, MIDI out running to maybe some other delay or something, if I'm correct, this would send the clock to here, and then with that on, it would send the tempo change to like a delay pedal or something that received MIDI. But I'm not sure. I haven't messed with that. I usually use just all the delays on the stomp. You're gonna have, right now I have mine set to the tempo select preset, and you'll notice whenever I change this, it'll change the beats per minute. Go over here. That you're not using the USB MIDI MIDI PC RX. You're gonna want that set to MIDI, and then PCTX is off. And that's basically all the settings for your MIDI settings, and then it'll do what you need it to. I've got my tuner set up, and then I can change the tap tempo per preset. So one thing that I'm not exactly sure why, but if this is in milliseconds, it's not going to adjust it. It has to be in like quarter, eighth, whatever you want it to be. It has to be in this type of timing setup for it to work. That confused me for a long time, because I'd have several delays and one would like be on milliseconds, and I'd go trying to adjust the tap tempo. I'm like, I don't know why it's not working. So it needs to be in this type of format for it to receive the tap tempo setting, whatever you decide to put in there. So with the way I have it configured now that I just showed you, like for this preset, say I want to do really fast, you can see it hasn't saved up there because I changed the tempo. I'll save it, and then I'll go over to this one, do it really slow, same thing, shows I haven't saved it. Now they're both saved, so when I go back and forth between the two, they're going to be saved at the tempos I set. And if I want to change them on the fly, I can. But obviously, if I switch presets and go back, it's not going to save what I did unless I come over here and hit save. So it's kind of nice. How I use it is I have a preset pretty much per song I play. So whenever I'm practicing or we write a new song, I will figure out the tempo, set it on here, and then just save it. And then I can leave it. Or maybe we're playing live and the drummer's changing the tempo a little bit on one. I can adjust it on the fly and get the delay to match up with the tempo. So that's basically how I use it. You can do it differently if you want to. The first way is on here, which it's going to be, both these ways I show you are kind of going to be the same. So you can go over here to preset and change that to global, and that will just, it won't give you the option to change, to save it anymore. Notice the little thing isn't coming up showing me that I need to save it, because it's just going to be the same every preset. So I'll set it, say like this. If I go to the next preset, it's going to be the same. So if you're constantly playing new stuff and you're just setting the tap tempo per song, that's a great way to do it. Cool thing about that is, if that is the way you're doing it, not even worrying about changing settings on here, come back over here and you can actually make the LED match. So you'll go here, you'll change this to set tempo, you'll turn the MIDI clock on, right device, let it do its thing real quick. You'll come over here and you've got a tap tempo LED that's showing you your global speed. So takes a little second to show it. So this works with a global setup, seeing the LED that is. But if I, well, first let me show you. If you go over here now, it's going to show the tempo select is external, the beats per minute's external. So it's receiving everything through there. The thing is, you can't change the LED per preset if you wanted that. It's going to force it to be global in this setting. So if I want to go to my presets, it's going to basically do the same thing the other one did. Say well, not that one, let's go to this one. Say if I change it like this, it's going to come in really fast. Same thing as if I had it set to global. Go over here, it's going to be the same thing, and it doesn't give me an option saying I need to save it. Now you'll notice that's what that little square is, because it's always going to be like this, because this is receiving from this. They're not going back and forth. I think if you had one that maybe was like an in out, it could possibly, when you go to the next preset, tell the controller, oh, we saved it this tempo. But because this is just going into here and not the other way around, it's always going to receive this. So, but yeah, if you use it globally and you like to see the LED, then you can. That's the only downside of this one, as opposed to having it right here. If you use the tap tempo on the HX Stomp, then you can see it, and per preset, it'll change the tempo and you'll see that every preset. This one's not like that, but I'm not too worried about the LED a whole lot. I just save it per preset and leave it. So, but yeah, figured I'd do a little video since I had some trouble figuring this out. See if I can help some other people. And if there's any extra stuff that y'all know that I didn't mention, maybe I'm missing something, feel free to leave that in the comments. Cool.